This past Saturday, the Ukrainians hit a key bridge connecting the annexed Crimea province to Russia. And that strike was done to achieve two things. Number one, to demoralize the Russians. And number two, to further frustrate the Russians' ability to deliver much-needed artillery to the southern Ukrainian battlefront. That bridge was in fact the very last bridge that allowed smooth passage between the two regions. And by the way, the bridge wasn't taken out by a missile. It was taken out by a truck packed with explosives. I don't know if it was TNT or something of that nature. As we speak, 8 men stand accused of the attack and are currently in Russian custody. Kyiv, of course, denies any involvement in the destruction of the bridge. But in all honesty, who else could have done it? Maybe a mercenary or the Kyiv military thereabout. Now, nonetheless, Putin's army seemed to have adopted the Israeli strategy of instant response. So they retaliated by hitting civilian houses. Fair warning to some of you, some of the images you're about to see might be disturbing in nature. Here you can see some pummeled apartments, and here you can also see a family being pulled out from under the rubble after the apartment complex had been shelled by the Russian military. I don't know if the guided missiles were jammed or something, but they definitely hit the wrong mark. Also, winter is around the corner, and the two nations will need to make hay while the sun still shines. It will be extremely difficult to make any major advancements once winter sets in. But before we get into that, if you're here for the first time, please go on and hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching from a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for mzitowafula. I'll be the first one to pop up. Hit the subscribe button and you're gonna be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really need to subscribe to. Now that winter is around the corner, the Russians have decided to get themselves an added advantage by occupying Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia power plant and making sure that it doesn't serve the Ukrainians. The nuclear plant's deputy director has also been detained, and there's been no word from him. Perhaps he's alive, perhaps he's dead. No one really knows. Now, these are some of the challenges that many will face as a result of winter coupled with war. The shelled power grids in Ukraine mean that civilians will for the first time experience winter without electricity. So no water heaters and no hot showers and no communication. Also, those delivering humanitarian aid will have a hard time getting the much needed supplies, i.e. thermal blankets, medicine, food, and even clothes to people in remote areas. As for the warring parties, both nations have enough experience in fighting in winter. When the Germans tried to invade Russia in Operation Barbarossa in 22nd June 1941, Ukraine was actually part of the Soviet Union and they fought side by side, thus defeating the ill-prepared Germans. The Germans evidently did not have clothes for winter. They did not even have the right boots. Some soldiers had their legs amputated and others died in foxholes. So fighting in winter is honestly not an easy feat, and that is what Russia and the Ukrainians are about to face in the next few weeks. And the biggest loser of the two, in my opinion, will be Russia. The Ukrainians are fighting in their motherland, and so they have an easy time, or rather an easier time, getting their supplies. The Russians, on the other hand, have to send all their artillery from the border to the front lines of battle. And their preferred mode of transportation usually is the railroad, but as at now, all railroad systems have been destroyed. So if they don't sort their logistics now and prepare for winter, the Ukrainians might take back the lost regions of Luhansk and Severodonetsk. But that's just my take on the ongoing war in Ukraine. I'd really love to hear your comments on this ongoing war. Who do you think will benefit more from the winter? And who do you think will suffer the most as a result of winter? Just drop me your comment in the comment section below. I'll do my best to read it and to give you a response. Now also, if you're here for the first time, please go on and hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching from a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for mzitowafula. I'll be the first one to pop up. Hit the subscribe button and you're gonna be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really need to subscribe to. Alright guys, adios.